Hi, I'm actual real-life dead woman, Yvonne DeCulo.
And I'm her recently dug up suicidal boyfriend.
Because this episode slayed us to death.
And this is all that's left.
This is all that's left.
There wasn't all that there to begin with.
At start.
That's probably how we died. We fell off.
What happened was...
Trey
didn't like the session.
You died first, though, because I'm not looking as crusty.
The formaldehyde is preserving you. Today we're going to be talking about episode 1 of All-Stars season 2 of...
Rupaul'S Drag Race.
What if my neck just like broke?
I should have blacked out on my teeth.
It's called Jiggly.
Oh.
All-Star season 2.
It's here!
It's here, it's queer, and it's here to say... Hi!
Hi!
Oh, this has nothing to do with anything. Andrew Christian released a video, like, hours ago about how to properly measure your dick with Topher DiMaggio and Sherry Vine. Full penis.
So we're just gonna blow through this.
So we can go ahead and crawl back into our graves. The queens entering the room was everything. So here's the thing about Adore. That's the thing about Adore. It's All-Stars 2, and that's what you bring in. Like, it was quintessentially her, and I feel like the assignment was bring in whatever your, like, quintessential drag is, but it's just like, it's All-Stars 2. Like, bring the best.
I loved her wig. I loved her makeup. I think she looked gorgeous.
Everything
Every
from here
time she
up
was
was
in
good.
makeup. I love that wig. I think if she had just taken that idea and paired it with, you know, she didn't even have to do like a fancy drag heel, just like a platform boot, you know, like 80s rocker, heavy metal platform boot, some more like studs. She landed somewhere in like the 90s punk rock era, but just if she had taken it just a little further, cinch. Sorry, I am gonna harp on that because it's your first look.
It's your first impression, possibly your last impression that you're gonna get.
Right.
So like, bring it. I did like her confessional though. The whole like, because big dicks and fried chicken was so subtle. That was hysterical, and that's the Adore that I liked.
That's the Adore I like, and with added intelligence.
Alaska came in another garbage bag. And I loved the reference to season 5.
It was like she had evolved. And it had grown.
It was way bigger. It was like 3
I don't
layers.
know what was in that garbage bag, but it like...
Share needles was in there. You just like spit everywhere.
I loved using the swirly umbrella.
That was fun.
Cool sci-fi alien thing instead of the horse mask. Everything. It was perfect. And that was exactly what your entrance into the runway should be like.
Alyssa Edwards looked like quintessential dance mom. I thought she was so fucking cute. And I loved like her whole, I need to get in this All-Stars gig.
My only thing with Alyssa was it didn't look like anything new. But what I will say from Miss Alyssa Edwards is it's been how many years? Bitch doesn't look a day older.
She looks exactly the same.
She looks
snatched.
She almost looks, maybe it's because they're using high-def cameras now. But, I don't know what it is, but she looks younger.
I think of all the points of view that we got from all of the queens as they came in, I feel like Coco was one of those where it was just like, I don't really understand. Like, she had her little Dorito compact, and that was very, very cute. But I didn't understand what her point of view was as a queen, and I don't feel like that conveyed well into what she wore. And I agree with what Roxy said, like, you have a beautiful face. Why are you covering it with this big old hat?
My only problem with Coco is just that it's like, we get it. You have a Dorito orange meme. She took it a step too far because it was like the Dorito compact, which was cute. She had the orange shoes. Orange, you glad to see me?
I thought it was fun. I loved the little interaction between her and Alyssa. That was fantastic editing. Whoever's in charge of Trixie and Katya's show edited this season of Drag Race, I think.
That was beautiful.
Detox came in some business executive realness, which
Neon business
lived.
80s
Business
yes,
executive
lived,
realness. Absolutely lived. That's Detox's thing. And I think she does it really well.
She also skinned and killed a Muppet to wear as a wig.
I honestly think that's like the same wig that she wore during her business executive realness from the Candy Ball. Our resident glamour toad Ginger Minj came in
and she
she came in wearing Alaska's telenovela outfit and the same exact wig. And she finally got to say the thing that she wanted to say.
Oh, I loved it.
In season 7, she came in, her first thing that she said was, "Come on, season 7, let's get this over with." And the producer said, let's do it over. At least that's what the Drag Race Facts accounts say that happened. And she finally got to say it.
Apparently that wasn't something Logo would sign off on at the time. She looked really good.
She looked really good. And she was cinched. She was definitely giving me a little bit of Chad Michaels from All Stars, where Chad was so bitter about Sharon winning. Was like, what? You want to give me the $100,000 back? And Ginger being like, all it takes to win is a corset. Or maybe winning 3 challenges and never lip syncing.
Maybe she's trying to like carry over that bitter old lady brigade thing.
Maybe.
I'm okay for it. I like it.
Katya came in some Soviet Union realness, giving me absolute life. I loved the reference to her original entrance look. The
I
eye
love that
patch.
she kept talking in
Oh
Russian
my
too.
gosh, it was great.
I feel like she was doing a villain from something, but I can't name it. Like one of those like Adult Swim shows. Like she was
Maybe.
trying to do like a takeoff that I don't know, but oh, it was so good.
It was great. Katya is my winner right now. She is
I
absolutely
just
my
love
winner.
Katya, and I just love how funny and irreverent she is, and
She is drag.
she is drag, and it's like I forgot how tolerable she made her season, because honestly, like I could only get through so much of like Kennedy, Pearl, and Violet just monotone drolling their way through their interviews. It was Katya and Trixie in that season that really kept it going, and I just pray to God Katya makes it all the way to the end. I would love for her to win, but even if she doesn't, just like so I can get those
More Katya.
off-camera moments for Katya, because that's the best part of Katya.
I feel like she's honestly going to make it very far because she's doing Total Rucall, and I don't think that she would bother making those videos unless she made it far in the competition.
That's fair.
Next we have Fifi O'Hara. I loved her intro. Coming in, starting as a villain, because that's where she left off, coming in to redeem herself. I loved it.
And I think it was very smart of her because she came in representing what she does now, which is that cosplay thing.
Cosplay.
Which, by the way, as of when we are filming this, she is doing Pokemon Leaders right now, and I loved it. I love this new Fifi. I
I'm
don't know.
all about this Fifi.
I feel like her evil was in her snaggletooth.
It's gone.
Now it's gone. So I really adore this new Fifi. I mean, I liked
I'm
Fifi.
all about this Fifi.
I liked Fifi on her season. Like she was awful, but
Batshit crazy.
It was a wonderful awful. But I like this Fifi even more, and that's kind of going to be the theme of this season: is queens who I wasn't overly fond of redeeming themselves.
It is like what the little hashtag was for the season. It's the ultimate redemption. These girls are coming in and redeeming themselves from their seasons, and I feel like they all need to take cues from Fifi because some of them are kind of going on the bitchy route, and Fifi specifically said after her season she had a hard time getting bookings because people thought that she was a certain way. So if these girls don't want to have a perception of them, they need to be very mindful of what they present on camera.
So Fifi, I'm rooting for you, girl.
I am too. Phoebe's in my top 3 right now. Roxy Andrews came in another, what I would say, not so, like, clear POV. It was a very cute outfit. I liked what she said in her little confessionals. I like that she's coming in to redeem herself and prove that she's not just this bitchy girl.
And I really hope she follows through.
And I hope she does too, and I think so far she's really doing that.
She's doing good.
But I didn't really get her POV from her outfit.
I don't know if it was an improvement over her entrance look from her original season. I think it aged her a little. It was cute, but
It wasn't like a clear POV. Like, she's a thick and juicy girl. I don't know if I would want her to, like, walk in dressed as a watermelon. But,
No.
like, I don't know. I feel like it didn't really represent what I think of when I think of Roxy Andrews.
no, I wanted something a little more pizzazz.
Something that showed off her curves more. Like,
Yeah.
Even a jumpsuit, I would have been
Her
totally
waist
okay with.
was snatched.
It was. She looked amazing. She looks amazing.
She looks great. So proud of her for what she's done, and she looked real good as a boy walking around in that tank top. I will give her that. But I don't know, it something was just aging. Maybe if she had worn something sequenced.
Sequenced gown. That's what she should have worn. Is a shiny sequenced gown.
It's true. That would have been funny.
And then come in and said something like that.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
Or
But-
just a big shirt that says, like, where my people at. I would have been totally okay if she had come
A
in
Tamar
a
Braxton, a dress made out of Tamar Braxton's face.
Stop it.
I think Roxy's problem is still she just intrinsically takes herself a little too seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what that looks like to me, was that I take myself seriously.
I'm a serious artist.
I'm a serious woman.
Finally, we have Tatiana, who I am rooting for so much. She is another one of those top 3 girls for me right now. Tatiana was giving me life with her look. She's just giving me, like, real woman. All the lines were crisp and clean and perfect. And, like, I think that she brought herself in, did her thank you thing, and that was enough. And I feel like that's all Tatiana has
Perfect.
to do.
It was quintessential Tatiana.
She's just
But-
so fluid.
She is.
I can
and
forgive anything.
It was quintessential Tatiana, but matured in the right way.
Yes.
Roxy matured and aged herself. Tatiana matured. She went from a girl to a woman.
A woman.
A woman. Miss Tatiana did not come to play the radio this
She did
season.
not.
I
I think my top 3 at this moment, Katya, Alaska, and Tatiana. And I think Fifi is going to be in 4th.
Interesting. I'm rooting hard for Tatiana. It's so hard because I love them all. I can't make a definite top 3. I know Tatiana will be there. If
Yeah.
there is a drag god in heaven.
Divine, if you are up there. Our very first mini challenge was reading. Library was open. Holy crap, I was not expecting it this early, but
Early
was
summer
I
hours.
slayed. Fifi's like, excuse me, if you don't have a wristband, you can't be at the meet and greet. That was so hilarious.
My sides hurt. I was laughing
I was
so much.
cackling.
The read of the night for me, though, is
Okay.
Katya with the Roxy Andrews. I think about you a lot. In fact, I think about you every morning when I'm at the bus stop. There were a couple that fell flat. Coco's fell flat.
Coco's were not funny at all.
Coco's were not funny. Other than Coco's, that is what the library
That's what it's there for.
is there for, honey. Even Alyssa.
Alyssa was very funny. I mean,
She-
like, in her weird little Alyssa Edwards
And
way.
I mean, here's the thing. Alyssa knows, like, she's not going to be able to come up with witty zingers like the rest of them.
So she's
So
gotta
she
do
did
something
what
goofy.
she's good at. And she was just like, "Bleh, Kokomon trees. Beast. And again, I'm going to be talking about my other queen besides Katya. And that's Tatiana, who I believe in her season couldn't do.
She could not read in her
She
season.
couldn't read. She was like, I can't do it. Here. Exit stage, whatever. So I was worried.
She was funny.
She came guns a-blazing
Yeah, she did.
and tits a-percolating.
I was honestly not surprised that Alaska won the reading challenge because of all these queens, she's the only one who won her reading challenge in her season. Because Jujubee won Tatiana's season. Who won season 6? Was that Darian? Trixie won Katya's and
Yes.
Ginger's. Season 4, that was Sharon, wasn't it? Alaska won season 5's. So she's the only one who won her reading challenge. So I was not surprised that she won this at all.
Yeah. It's
She,
fair.
it was deserved.
Also,
she was hysterical.
She was the only one that threw herself on the floor.
And now our first maxi challenge was a competition like, what am I trying to say?
Talent show. It was a
yeah,
talent
it was-
show.
yeah.
It was a talent
It's a
show.
talent show. Thank you.
A competition of one's skills in various
That's what I was
areas.
trying to go for.
Bitch, it's a talent show.
Adore did a singing talent. I thought that she was pretty decent. She was hitting some flat notes.
I mean,
Um,
here's the thing. We're getting their mic. I'm going to be a music nerd because I did study music. We're getting their live mic feeds, which the problem with that is when you just feed someone's mic sound in, it's bad. It is always bad. And the producer was doing no favors
Yeah.
for anyone except Alaska, which is a little shady because it was just a flat sound. What they all heard in the actual auditorium would have been the natural reverb that was coming from being in a giant soundstage, the echo, and all that. So even if it sounded a little shaky to us, even if it didn't sound good to us, it sounded much better live. She did good. She interacted with the audience. She did everything.
The audience really seemed to like
They
her.
really seemed to like her. She did everything she was supposed to do. She just wore the wrong outfit to do it.
I really didn't like anything about that outfit. I thought she looked schlumpy.
She did. I beat it down a bit. It was, it was a great dress. It could have been great, but she just styled it wrong.
Styled
She
it
shouldn't have worn the
incorrectly.
gloves. She looked like a big old sensor bar. She needed to wear a slightly classier do instead of Sarah Paulson's leftover wig from American Horror Story Hotel. At least she dyed it purple. Alaska also did singing for her talent. She did an original piano accompanied comedy singing
It was a
composition.
hilarious piece. That wig, I would wear that wig forever. I would
don't know.
never stop wearing that
I
wig.
don't know what that wig was, but it was wonderful.
It had like gems. I would shower in that wig. I would go to work in that wig.
I would douche in
I
that
would
wig.
douche in that wig. I would
Pick up trade in that wig.
I would do everything in that wig. You could not convince me to take that
I would
wig
do
off.
my laundry in that wig.
I would have it sewn to my scalp.
Can you just imagine going to the salon with this wig? Like, so what made you decide to pick this one?
Alyssa did a dancing number, but not only did she do a dancing number, she did a lip sync and she did a little mini puppet show.
Or,
it was
as
perfect.
they referred to it, a variety. It was great.
I really think that she did better than Safe. That's just me. Coco did a dancing number, but Coco's was not that good. I think what Coco's problem was is that she picked a really slow song. She tried to do something very camp, and that's not Coco at all. I could understand where she was kind of going with it, but I don't think it really translated well because the song was so slow, and that dress just swallowed her up.
I mean, the wig was really cute. I like those wigs on Coco. I like when Coco does the little, like, starlet numbers with her wigs. They really do make her look cute, just the shape of her face and stuff. The dress, though, was just, it looked like a nightgown. And
I think that's what she was going for.
Which makes sense, but here's the thing, like, if you're gonna do a dance number, you need to do, like, a nightgown that's sheer or parts or something. Like, that's what they do in ballets and stuff. Sure, you know, Nutcracker Suite, she's in her nightgown the whole damn show.
Yeah.
But it's sheer, it's light fabrics, and you can see her legs the whole time. And if you're gonna do a dance number, gotta be able to see your legs, bitch. Show a talent. Give me Janet, give me...
Detox did a singing talent, but I didn't really get singing from it. I think it was a performance art.
It was performance art. I think they just
They
didn't know how to label that. But it was
really
great.
cool.
It was fantastic.
With the neon paint flying everywhere, it was so quintessentially Detox.
It was neon, it was black light, it was trance. It was cool.
Not to be shady, but I did think it was a safe performance.
It was safe.
And
hardcore.
I feel like, I mean, I don't really know what Detox's big shtick is. Like, Detox really doesn't have a shtick. And so
Yeah.
I feel like doing something like that was a very safe thing to do, rather than going out of Detox's box like what Coco did and doing something that's not necessarily her shtick. You know, like, I feel like it was a good move to do.
I think Detox doesn't have a shtick. I think what Detox is an aesthetic.
Yes.
She is an aesthetic queen, and that is neon, black light, techno,
80s realness.
80s realness. And she delivered. So
That's what she gave. Ginger did a singing talent as well. I was less than impressed with her makeup. I really didn't think it looked flattering on her. I didn't really like the outfit on her at all. I didn't like the wig. I didn't like those lower lashes. I just really was very unimpressed with Ginger's performance, and read me to filth. I'm trying to shade her and I look like a fucking corpse. So, like, I have no room to speak, but I just was not impressed by it.
yeah,
It was a bottom look for me.
it was weird. It wasn't a great look.
And it wasn't even a good performance, I
It
think.
was not. It wasn't the best. Apparently, it was very moving. They did her no favors. They did her 0 favors. Because, like, even Todrick can sing. I know he can sing. He's a decent singer. Even Todrick was like, you didn't hit any flat notes? And I was like, really? Did you miss the first 4 bars? Even Raven was sitting there like...
She
Alright.
was in Cheetah Girls, so she knows about bad singing. Katya did a gymnastics number, and I lived. I loved that she, like, really capitalized on all those, like, quintessential Katya things, like
Yeah.
the slow splits, the backwards bends, and walking on her hands, and all that nonsense.
Well, and then adding the irreverence into it with, like, doing the back bend and then turning it into the Exorcist crab walk. It was great. It was safe.
It was definitely a safe thing.
But it was quintessential Katya.
Yes.
Much like Detox's was quintessential Detox. And it was a good save. It wasn't a bad save.
Fifi did an acapella, which was just a very poor decision. Fifi should have had some type of background song to do.
Even Lady Gaga sang with a piano when she did the national anthem. Like,
Yeah.
Gaga.
She should have had something, and Fifi has said on Twitter that she messed up and she deserved to be in the bottom. It was just a mistake, it was a poor judgment call, and she'll move on from it.
Yeah. It was brave of her. I give her that. Like, anyone who sings knows how hard it is to sing a cappella. And, again, they did her no favors. I liked her look when she was framed like this. I liked her makeup. The hair was a little weird
I
for me.
didn't like her hair at all. That wig needed some drinks.
It needed some drinks. It was the leftover cloud from Alaska's wig.
Roxy did a burlesque number coming for Violet Chachki's gig, but did an amazing job.
Bitch.
Did I not predict, I don't know if I said it in one of these earlier videos, but did I not predict that Roxy was going to do an outfit reveal and a wig reveal? I literally predicted this.
I will back that up. She did. She did say it. And she did fucking both in one number. God damn it. She didn't win.
I just wish that she had said, like, where my people at some point. I wish she had said that.
I was really impressed because I really did have no idea what Roxy was
I didn't have
gonna
any
do.
idea.
I was like, can Roxy do anything? She can't sing. She can move. Big, quick. A burlesque number. It was genius. And it was a deserved win because
Yes.
here's the thing. It was quintessential Roxy. And she was hearkening back to her previous time on Drag Race with tearaways, with reveals, with a fucking wig under a wig. And there was just innate genius about
It
that.
was.
And that was the kind of maturity from Roxy that it started me really, it was redempting.
Refreshing.
It was a redemption of the Roxy Andrews brand and image in my mind. And I do not give praise to Roxy Andrews easily. I am still hurt. I am still hurting for Jinx.
She's still hurt that she was there. Okay. P.S. P.S.
She's still hurt. She was
Alaska's read about a healthy dose of
hating on Jinx. A healthy diet of bitterness towards Jinx Monsoon.
Finally, we have Tatiana, who did like a spoken word, kind of like beatnik. That was everything. If somebody did that in a club, and I had any ones, they would have all my
They'd all
ones.
be gone.
They would
They'd all
have
be
all of them
at her feet.
And like that,
As I
she
kiss
read
her
the
shoes.
queens when she came out, like in a very subtle way.
Yeah.
And then like talking about her genitals, like that is the type of reverence that I want to see from a drag queen. I love that type of humor.
I need to discuss the genius of this. And if I was RuPaul, I would have been just like, fuck off, she won. 'Cause Roxy was amazing, deservedly in the top, but it was so out of the box, so out of left field for something to do for a talent. It was so well done. And, you know, the thing about Tatiana is Tatiana has always had a very 90s aesthetic to me anyways. Like that high-end 90s look. And so to, like, do something so totally 90s.
And, like,
Beatnik, coffee house, spoken word.
And she had a rhythm to it. Spoken word is very difficult to do, especially if you're like doing like a poetry piece.
Yeah.
And she had the rhythm of it, and it flowed. It felt really natural. She was the clear winner for me.
I do not like spoken word. There's only one other spoken word that I enjoy.
The Bible?
No. The only other spoken word I enjoy is from an extremely goofy movie. When the goth chicken. I don't get excited over stuff like spoken word. I was thrilled.
This whole episode was gag worthy. And then RuPaul drops the bomb on us, which we all knew from the very first trailer.
Can we clock how Logo's been like trying to like
They were being so
suspense.
secretive about it for the last like 3 or 4 trailers that they've done. And like trying to like be like, oh, RuPaul's not eliminating anybody. But literally they told us in the very first trailer that the queens were eliminating each other. RuPaul finally drops the bomb that they're eliminating each other. Not only that, but the winner of the Lip Sync for Your Legacy gets $10,000 fucking dollars as a tip.
per episode.
Per episode. That is insanity. And whoever wins gets to choose who goes home. That is crazy.
Nuts. Here's what I like about all these things. First of all, I like that it's lip sync for your legacy because they are all stars. They don't got to lip sync for their life no more. They're getting bookings, they're getting gigs. They're lip syncing to uphold that title, to show why they are an all-star.
Yeah.
And I think that's genius. And I think that's perfect. I would not want to see the queens eliminate each other in an actual season of Drag Race.
Really, I would love that.
I think it would just
Too
be
much drama.
Too much drama, and I think it would be too shady. I like it here because that's the thing. They are already all-stars. They are already Drag Race royalty. They've been through it. They know it. They should know what is expected of them. And so, like, I don't know. And I mean, you could say it's unnecessary drama. I say it's great drama, and it's keeping
great
me.
TV.
It's bringing me back to life. The color is returning, mostly to the shading here in my forehead.
That being said, though, I do not envy them at all. I would not want to sit in that seat and have to say, okay, I'm sending home this person. That being said, with the lip sync for your life, I personally feel like Tatiana slayed that lip sync. I feel like all her movements were so kinetic and so fluid.
It was really
and
good.
so perfect. But Roxy won, and she sent home Coco.
I will say about the lip sync for your legacy is I love kinetic movement with a lip sync, with a dance. I love that. I think that's great. What I will say on Roxy's behalf, thinking about it, at the time I was like, no, that was Tatiana's. That's bullshit. what I will say looking back on it, recollecting in my mind, was one, Roxy had more facial expressions than Tatiana did. I think Tatiana had the tighter lip sync, but Roxy had more facial expressions. Roxy also took the fact that she kind of had a flapper thing going, and she turned Shake It Off into this flapper number. She was doing like the da 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 da. She did a Charleston storyline, and she made the costume work for the number. Yeah, and I did appreciate that a lot. And so looking back,
I did like that a lot.
I will concede that I think Roxy did earn it. In the moment, I was not happy. But looking back, I would agree.
I'm glad that they both won prizes for being in the top 2, though.
Yes, that's also really cool. Okay, so this
elimination was shocking.
This was shocking.
Absolutely shocking, because in like our mini Untucked,
we got to see the girls' deliberation, which
was really cool,
genius, and we got the Untucked of
I
want to
watch the judges just talking.
It was pork chop.
I love that they finally mentioned her, because they didn't mention her at all in season 8.
It was time.
It was weird because it made it seem like Roxy was going to send home Fifi.
It did. And here's the whole thing about that deliberation that was, again, cemented Tatiana as my favorite for this season. I'm going to be honest. I love Katya, but I'm rooting for Tatiana. Was that all the queens are being all diplomatic and we're sisters and we should look at it like it's every single episode, the challenge, how they did in the challenge and what the judges would do. And Tatiana comes in and goes, you bitches will not do that when it comes down to the line. When we're way down the road, you're going to say, this bitch won last week. This bitch could send me home. I'm sending her packing. And I like that. Mm-hmm. Tatiana is real. That's the other reason why Tatiana's spoken word was so good, because that is Tatiana's talent, is her
realness.
Her realness and her mouth and her words. And Tatiana kept it real with that. And, it was, you could have told me it was all scripted and I still wouldn't have been any less, gagged by it. Because that was television. And this moment, when Roxy Andrews pulled that lipstick out of her bra and showed you it was Coco, that was the moment I decided I would be okay if Roxy Andrews wins this show if she keeps going down that path. Because she said in the interviews, I don't know Fifi that well. I only have a passing idea of what she can do. I know Coco. I know what she can do. She's my friend. Yeah, I'm going to win $10,000, but I could lose Coco as a friend for squashing her chances at bringing herself, more, advancing her career, And really, Coco does have a show. She does work.
She works.
But, you don't get exposure like Drag Race. And so we all thought, we knew pretty much that Tatiana probably had Coco's name in her bra. But we were all thinking, she had Fifi. Roxy had Fifi. And when she pulled out Coco's name, I was like, holy shit. She was honest. The whole episode, Coco failed the reading. She
failed the reading challenge. She failed the entrance
look. Challenge, the entrance look. She was not doing well. And Roxy objectively looked at that and sent her friend home. My jaw was on the floor for the next 20 minutes. I got up. I had a sip of soda. I peed. I came back. My jaw was still hanging because it was nuts. It was such good television. In 1 hour 20 minutes, was it?
Something like that.
Yeah, because it started at 9:30, ended at 11. Hour and a half. They did more than an hour and a half than all of season 8 did. Sorry about it. So, Coco's name's on the chopping block. Coco gets her limited edition RuPaul maquette.
And then she gets a message saying that she has a chance to come back for her revenge.
As if we weren't floored enough.
What the fuck? Okay, I was telling Jacob, back in one of the Food Network star things, like Who Wants to Be the Next Food Network star, the eliminated contestants would go on to compete with each other. And every single episode, whoever won the last challenge would compete with whoever went home in that episode. And then by the time it got to 7 or 8 episodes in, the person who had won all of those episodes and had made it all the way through backstage challenges that the regular contestants didn't know about, that person got to come back into the competition. I'm pretty sure they made it to top 4. And I think almost won. They were very, very close. So I'm wondering if maybe like Coco is going to like do some backstage competition with whoever goes home next week. Say it's Adore. And then Coco wins. So then Coco lip syncs or does something with whoever goes home next. Say it's Alaska. And then Alaska wins that. And so then she goes with the fourth person. And then maybe like by episode 5, that person comes in or whatever. You know, maybe when it gets to top 4, that person's brought back in the competition. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'd also be very okay with the idea that RuPaul literally just has Coco holed up in a hotel room and is like sending her supplies. And she's like, no, hold on, it'll come. One of them will leave, something will happen, a rule will get broken. Don't worry, we'll use you.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Or what if it's like they get to like the makeover challenge and then like they all come back in again?
Ooh, ooh.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many
it's-
things that could happen. Like maybe they have a chance to kind of sway the vote.
I don't know. I don't know what's planned for Coco. I just know that the last 20 minutes of this episode were just
Gags, gags, gags.
it was amazing. And that was the season premiere. My only fear at this
Insanity.
point is they just set the bar so high. I don't know how, which is very different from last season because they set the bar so low with that 2-hour opening that it could only go somewhere.
Next week is Snatch Game though, which I'm so
I know.
fucking excited
I
about.
like that they're not waiting this season either.
I'm so
they're
glad.
like, first episode, welcome to the runway, read each other, show all of your most personal talents on stage live in
what's
front of everybody.
next?
Do Snatch Game.
Like,
Then the
really?
third episode, we're gonna do a music video.
But I mean, that's what they did with the first All Stars, is RuPaul's Gaffin, which was basically Snatch Game was episode 2.
I suppose. Don't talk to me about the Gaffin. Sorry.
I'm still offended by that.
It was such a waste of what could have been really fun stuff, and it was just too hokey, and it was dumb.
It's like the Muppets. The
It was
Muppets
the
did something
Muppets.
like that. From the preview, though, can I just say that I'm very annoyed with Queens doing old Queens characters. Like, Alyssa's doing Joan Crawford. And, like, where's RuPaul sitting down and saying, well, you know, Alyssa, Joan Crawford's been done before, and the girl who did her went home that episode. So maybe
Yeah.
you shouldn't do Joan. And, like, last season we had 2 characters that were already done before. Like, I think the season before that we had somebody that was done before. Like, I'm just tired of Queens doing old things.
Yeah, in their defense, I will say if you can do it and do it better, a la Chad showing Delta work how a Cher impression is done, you know, do it.
Or Bob doing Carol Channing better than Pandora.
Although, oh, poor Pandy. Or
Derek did not do better than Tatiana. Don't even go there.
no,
Stop
I
it.
wasn't gonna say it, and I was just like,
What I will give credit to is that Alyssa does look a lot more like Joan Crawford than Mariah did.
Snatch Game is going to be really interesting, especially with this group of girls, because we have a pretty even mix of girls who excelled at their Snatch Game and girls who failed their Snatch Game.
So let's talk about the judges really quick before we wrap up everything.
RuPaul, she decided to come back.
RuPaul came back for RuPaul's
She hasn't
Drag
sold
Race.
the brand yet. Can you
Um,
imagine when it gets to that point where Ru's just like, I don't want to do it anymore. You can just use the name.
Carson is back. It's kind of unclear about Ross. They really haven't talked about the judges yet.
He might be dead.
But he
We
might
don't know.
he might be in a ditch.
With us.
And then we have Todrick Hall as a regular guest judge.
And I'm not going to say anything.
I've interacted with Todrick in human life, in workplaces, and I think he's rude. So I have no respect for Todrick. Raven Simonier in this
And
episode.
RuPaul will correct you.
I didn't really think she contributed much. I feel like they edited out whatever she had to say. And I feel like the way that it's working now, where the queens have the deliberations, it kind of almost doesn't make sense to have a guest judge. Because, like, what are they there for?
Here's
If they're not even there to, like, give any good feedback.
Here's the thing. They're giving $10,000 frickin' dollars every episode to a girl. They don't have the money for celebrity judges. This is gonna be the season of guest judges who were just like, oh no, yeah, I'll just do it. That's fine.
I
They
think
have no money to
They should
give
have
to
had other
people.
drag queens come in.
That would have been kind of cool.
For All Stars 3, what I really want and my hope and desire is that they'll have the winners from each season and the first to go home from each season. And so it's like, welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars
Welcome
Battle
to
of the Seasons.
Deathmatch.
The strongest queen and the weakest link queen. And kind of like make the whole theme like you're only strong as your weakest link. I think it would be such a cool All Stars 3. But we're avoiding
diverged.
all of this.
So we need to talk about Michelle Visage.
Michelle is not here to play games. And
She's
what I
not.
think happened is this is right off the tail end of season 8. They had almost no break between season 8 and All Stars. And I think Michelle is just at this point, she said it in the top 4 that top 3 was not who she predicted when they walked in the room. And I think Michelle was just very frustrated throughout the whole season with the queens and all their nonsense and all their excuses, particularly Robbie. And I feel
Also
like
coming off of season 7 where it was a lot,
a lot of
them
excuses.
getting-
And so I feel like Michelle is just at this point where she's like, we just filmed season 8. There were a lot of fucking excuses. I am not here to play. And she's like, I don't care what your excuse is. If you're hurt by what I have to say, get over it. You're all stars.
Yeah. I also said, I think it was 2 days ago, the other interesting thing, I said it was either going to go 2 ways with Michelle, is that the problem is, more so with the last All-Stars, these are queens that Michelle's been touring with in the bots tours.
The only one who she's not worked with is Tatiana.
Tatiana and probably Coco. I don't
She's
think
probably not worked with Coco.
worked with Coco a lot. But most of these other queens, she works with them. She texts them. She is
The mama.
She's their mama. She is their friend in real life. Like, I mean, they literally talked about it. When Adora was crying, like, you know, she would go to Michelle when they were on the tour. And the other queens commented on that. And I said, either what's going to happen is that's going to neuter Michelle, and she's going to have to kind of be the nice one, and it's going to be up to the guest judges, up to Todrick, up to Carson, Ross, if he's not dead, and Rue to be the mean, harsh ones. Or, because she knows them, I said she's going to go for the kill, and she's going to be too real with them.
Unapologetic.
Hashtag unapologetic.
But that's what Michelle's known for.
It is, but not to this level. Because she doesn't know them, and she does say that. Like, she said it on the podcast, she said it in behind the scenes stuff. She says, I don't know them. She's honest with them, but I mean, she can't be mean to them, like, more mean than is met, because she doesn't know them
when she
yet.
first meets them.
Right, but she knows these girls.
She's
she knows a
toured
lot
all
of
of
them really, really well.
Yeah. She knows what
And
they're capable of.
She knows what they're capable of. She holds them to a much higher standard because she's seen firsthand what they can do, what they can bring to a runway, what they can bring to a snatch game, to this, to that. And people are mad at her, but you know what? She was honest. She was brutally honest. And especially, here's the thing. If Adore goes to Michelle before every show that they do together and says, what do you think of this? And Michelle gives her a critique, and Adore still came out in something that wasn't good, like, that is on Adore. And people are mad about how Adore got treated and how upset Adore was. But, you know, I said in the car, she really did not do well. And Yvonne will tell you, like, she thinks that Adore should have been in the bottom a lot more than she actually was on her season.
Adore should have been in the bottom episode 1. Adore should have been bottom during the acting challenge. Adore should not have won the Color Revolution challenge. Adore only won the glitter ball because everybody else did so badly.
It's true.
Like, I don't even think Adore should have been, like, high during Snatch Game because her runway was not RuPaul, and it was exactly her exact character from Snatch Game. And she should have gotten these critiques she got tonight very early on in season 6, and I think had they not forgiven those quirks of hers, I don't think she would have been so upset now. It's kind of like that kid in school that never gets reprimanded for anything,
and then grows up
to be a brat.
Yeah.
And then finally, like, the world kicks them in the pants, like at their first job when they've had the world handed to them, and somebody's mean to them, like what I've experienced at work before, and I've made people cry because I'm too real with them, because they never had somebody tell them, stop doing this.
Listen.
Adore's a good
That's
queen.
not to say that Adore is not an amazing queen.
But it's just like, she needed to have that kick in the pants a long time ago.
She did.
And she never got that.
And I think what's happening here is Adora got by in her season because of that charm, because of that quirk, where they didn't know it. It was totally new to them. And when you meet someone who's like that and you know them for the first time, when somebody does something like that to you, where they are able to deflect by being funny and kind of off the cuff, it totally disrails you and disarms you. And that's what happened in her season. But they know her now. And anyone who has a friend like that knows it
That
works
gets
the
old
first
very
time,
quick.
maybe the second time, third time, knock the crap off.
It's like Jaden's visions during Snatch Game.
Right, it's exactly that. And Michelle and Rue, they know that now. Michelle more than anybody. And you saw it. Adore instantly went into it. She instantly
went into
which,
that.
here's the thing. When Adore does badly and she knows she did badly, that's when she pulls it out. Because Glitter Ball, she was like, yeah, yay, I won. She didn't do it because she knew she did well.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever she did bad, I styled it myself. It's human. Party.
But I tried to go for like Heatherette before he had a sewing machine, didn't know what he was making. It's funny for a taste, not
It's
for
funny
a
for a
swallow.
taste, not for a swallow.
Fifi got critiqued for her body shape in this episode too, but Fifi also got critiqued for her body shape in season 4 numerous times. So she had already been prepared for that in some way. She already knew.
They didn't tell the
about
girls
that.
anything they didn't already know. And like Michelle said, they're fucking all-stars. It's stuff they should know. And stuff, if you're gonna make that mistake, make it at the gig. Where the, all the audience really doesn't care. Like, you know what? If I go see Raven lip sync and Raven fucks up, I don't care. It's fucking Raven. But if it's on the show, holy
You want to see her
shit!
be flawless.
You're competing for $10,000 that day, $100,000 at the end of the road, and the title of the reigning All-Star Queen.
Next to Chad Michaels.
Next to Chad Michaels. Make that mistake when you're
Off
on the
the show.
road, when you're tired. I mean, yes, they're tired, they're stressed, but don't make it on All-Stars. Bring your A game. I felt very bad for Adore. It broke my heart to see Adore so sad because, I mean, Adore cried a lot in her season, but it was because she was
Shiona.
underprepared
Mhm.
and she wasn't ready.
But she's ready now.
She's ready now. She's grown into her drag, and to see her so broken down is terrible. When she said, "I don't belong here," I really did start to tear up. Because that wasn't television. That was honest
was
to God
real.
emotion, and that was horrible. And yes, Michelle was hard, but Michelle's honest, and that's why Michelle is there. And don't get mad at her for it. If Michelle had been that harsh with Serena Chacha in her
Or like
season,
Naysha Lopez.
or Naysha Lopez, you would have been like, "Ooh, girl, Michelle's out for blood today, yas." You would have been yassing her for being a bitch. But it's because you know Adore, and because you love Adore, and you want Adore to succeed, that you're saying, "Oh, Michelle's a bitch. Oh my God." So, don't get it twisted.
So stick around next week for Snatch Game. Do you agree with the winner of the lip sync? Do you agree with who went home? Who do you want to see go home next week? I'm Yvonne DeCulo.
And I'm Jake Loom.
And thank you for watching this episode of The Victory Lap. We will see you all again next time, whether you want us to or not.
Bye.
I'm not wearing nails.
You're not doing drag. What should we do for next week? Should we do like our own celebrity impersonation?
I can only do Trixie. I'm gonna do Ina Garten.